Hi, this is Splish, and today I'm going back in order to play Enlisted. That is a free-to-play World War II shooter that was released in March 2021. I would like to check out and see if Enlisted is still worth it at the end here of 2022, so let's get straight into it. I initially played this game quite some, also before its official release, since I've always been a fan of shooters when it comes to the World War II era, and Enlisted offers a bit of a unique experience when it comes to combining both infantry, vehicles such as tanks, together with aircrafts as well. Which isn't surprising since it's running on the same engine as War Thunder. Enlisted, compared to similar shooters that combines infantry and vehicles, has AI that you as a squad leader are in charge of and can therefore either command them to defend an objective or attack the same, and if you get down or killed, you have the possibility to take over one of the AIs in your squad in order to continue your push towards the objective. This feature and the mix of players and AIs in Enlisted has been working pretty well. And it's interesting to see that other titles such as Modern Warfare 2, for example, now have done a similar thing, meaning implementing AIs in their bigger scale game modes alongside with real players. The difference here though when it comes to Enlisted is that you're able to take control over the actual AI, which adds a bit of a tactical aspect into the game as well. Be aware though that this is not an arcade-ish run and gun respawn arcade shooter. Sure, you can have those kind of moments from time to time in the game, but usually they don't last that long due to the low time to kill, the slower paced, more kind of realistic movement, and the fact that you'll have to be aware of not only the other enemy infantry soldiers, but also the tanks, planes and the mounted machine guns that was quite recently added into the game. The different campaigns will take you to different locations when it comes to some of the war zones of World War II, well-known places. Since I haven't played Enlisted for some time, the Pacific campaign that was quite recently added was new to me. And I enjoyed playing it, although my favorite is most likely still Berlin. The gunplay is pretty fun in Enlisted and suits me as a sniper quite well, since there's a lot of bolt-action rifles to play with. However, there's a lot of ways to manage your squads to suit your playstyle and the guns you prefer to use, so you will be able to find your way in the menu pretty fast after playing some time, especially if you're used to play FPS games, at least similar games, in order to choose and build your squad or squads to your liking. When it comes to player base, there still seems to be a lot of people playing the game. It does help, of course, that the game offers crossplay. Since the game is being played via the Gaijin launcher on PC and not Steam, I haven't been able to find any data when it comes to player count in Enlisted. But again, I didn't have any problem getting into matches, didn't have to wait for a long time, and I did try out the game throughout the day. I played on different times. So, is the game still worth it towards the end of 2022? I had fun getting back into Enlisted, especially since I also hadn't tried out the Pacific campaign as mentioned earlier. However, it seems as if there's still some bugs and problems that are still in the game that hasn't been fixed since the last time I played. But it's not breaking the game. As a matter of fact, Enlisted has been running pretty stable all from the start, which is nowadays not always the case if you think about it. Since it's a free-to-play game, there are microtransactions involved since the developers need to make money somehow. From my experience, there aren't really anything that tilts the balance in the game, although some of the premium squads are considered to be quite good or strong. So if you're okay with that, meaning transaction or microtransactions that is, then Enlisted can still be a game for you. One thing that I got aware of when playing the game again is that you might get into lobbies where the balance between the teams is quite off, I might say, which isn't that rare of a thing when it comes to matchmaking in a game like this. I just want to mention that, especially if you're a newcomer, since it might become a frustrating thing from time to time. It can simply mean that you'll get into a team that will have an insanely hard time to get into the objectives to capture them due to more experienced players in the opposite team. That's an example that I'm giving here. So I also have to mention cheaters, unfortunately, since it does seem that cheating has become more common in Enlisted over the year that has passed. It's one thing, as mentioned earlier, if you're having a tough time due to good players in the opposite team, but if there's also a cheater or two, it becomes almost ridiculous sometimes. I'm talking about wall hacks or aimbot and other cheats, and I'm pretty sure that I encountered a few cheaters when I was playing in order to make this video. So my question to you that are playing the game on a somewhat regular basis is, have you encountered cheaters in Enlisted? And do you feel that the developers are doing enough when it comes to, kicking and banning cheaters in Enlisted? Let me know in the comments. With that ugly part of the way, I can still say that Enlisted can be a fun World War II shooter experience. So if you're looking for that kind of game, I can recommend you to at least try out Enlisted and tell me what you think. The game seems to have a pretty solid player base as mentioned earlier, even if there's been other bigger titles coming out this year. And I believe once again the crossplay feature has helped out alongside with more content such as new campaigns being added into the game. I call myself a visitor when doing these kind of videos, meaning going back into games to see and feel how they're doing. With that said, it's always nice to hear from you as well when it comes to your Enlisted experiences. Do you still enjoy the game? Do you believe that the game is in a good state as it is right now, or would you like to see some specific changes or improvements being done in Enlisted when we're soon getting into a new year, meaning 2023? Let me know in the comments and we'll take it from there. Thanks for watching, and if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out when I'm posting a new video. With that said, game on, and I'll talk to you soon again. Peace.